Congratulations on your purchase of Delta T Systems temperature control equipment. The purpose of this video is to provide basic startup instructions for our line of hot oil circulators. The instructions contained in the following video contain potentially hazardous operations, and they should be carried out by qualified personnel only. Be sure to follow your company's safety standards and wear proper personal protection equipment. Each connection on the back of your Delta T unit is labeled with one of the following. Delivery. This line feeds your process from the oil unit. Return. This is the return to the unit from your process. Water supply. Connect your cooling water supply to this connection. Drain. Your cooling water exits here. Be sure that all ports are connected to their respective piping, and that the piping and system are rated for at least the temperature and pressure the oil unit is rated for. In most cases, this is 550 degrees Fahrenheit and 150 psi. Once all the connections have been made, remove the breather cap from the fill port on the back of the unit. Add enough paratherm NF that the sight gauge shows at least 3/4 full. You may need to add more oil as your system fills. Once you have commissioned the unit, you will replace the breather cap. Never plug the fill port. Always use the supplied vented cap. You can purchase paratherm NF heat transfer fluid by calling Delta T Systems or by visiting our parts website at www.deltatparts.com. Identify the voltage requirement by checking the nameplate located on the exterior of the unit. With power supplied to the disconnect, but with the disconnect in the off position, use a voltometer to verify the voltage across L1 and L2, L1 and L3, and L2 and L3. The voltage supplied to the unit must match the nameplate plus or minus 10%. Once you have verified the unit is being supplied the proper voltage, replace the electrical enclosure door and turn the disconnect to the on position. Confirm that the cool off auto switch is in the off and center position. The next step in commissioning the unit is to verify proper pump rotation or phasing. Close the return valve and open the blow-off valve. Push the Start Forward button and watch the sight gauge. If the oil level is drawn down, the pump rotation is correct, and you can open the return valve 1/2 turn. If the oil level rises, the rotation is backwards, and you must press the red stop button and correct the phasing. Before opening the oil unit electrical enclosure, be sure to turn off the main power to the unit, and be sure to follow your company's energy control procedure and/or lockout-tagout policy. Ask your qualified electrician to swap the L1 and L3 lines of the supplied power. Do not change any of the factory wiring on the Delta T Systems unit subpanel. Once this is complete, you can energize the unit. Press the Start button and open the return valve 1/2 turn with the blow-off valve open. If the system does not build pressure, press the Stop button and press the Start Forward button again. You may need to jog the pump a few times to prime it. You will notice the oil level dropping and a mixture of oil and air being introduced at the top of the gauge. The air is being vented into the tank, which is open to the atmosphere, while clean oil is being drawn into the pump from the bottom of the tank. You may need to add oil to fill your system. To check your oil level, press Stop and check the level in the sight gauge. The oil in your system is hygroscopic and will absorb moisture. It is very important that any moisture in the oil or system is boiled out before the unit is put into service. To boil out the moisture, press the Cool Off Auto switch to Auto. Using the controller on the front of the unit, change the set point to 220 degrees Fahrenheit. Open the return valve 1 full turn and allow the unit to run at 220 degrees Fahrenheit until the oil in the sight gauge runs clear. Once the oil in the sight gauge is clear and appears to be free of air and moisture, Your oil unit is ready to be put into service. You can now open the return valve. And close the blow-off valve. Verify that the sight gauge shows an oil level of at least 1/4 full. The pressure gauge on the front of the unit shows the pressure being delivered to your process. You can adjust this pressure with the return valve. Keep in mind that pressures below 30 psi, 45 on large units, will produce optimum flow to your process. Your Delta T-Systems hot oil circulator is now in service. Use the up and down keys on the controller to adjust your set point. To increase the life of your oil and get the most out of your Delta T-Systems unit, remember to always cool the oil down below 180 degrees Fahrenheit before shutting the unit down. Be sure to visit our website at www.deltatsys.com for exciting news about our new product offerings, and our parts website, www.deltatparts.com, for a full line of parts for temperature control equipment. Thank you for trusting the team here at Delta T-Systems to provide you with safe, energy-efficient temperature control for your facility. We appreciate your business.